Hey, everybody. Wednesday Wisdom. Wednesday Wisdom. It's a tongue twister. I've been doing this for 2 months now. This is the Wednesday Wisdom session. Sometimes I say Wisdom Wednesday, Wednesday Wisdom, whatever. However, here we are once again, going to do this session today, Living at the Highest Level. This is our series. We just started a few weeks ago, Living at the Highest Level. A lot of people come to Tradeway. You know what they're looking for? They're looking to live at a higher level. They're looking to go to another level. They're looking to say, financially, I want to see more breakthrough. I want to know. I've heard about, I've seen, I've thought about learning to trade stocks, learning to invest, learning something about how to use my money better. I was literally just texting with a friend of mine, and we're going to talk about this in a minute, but we were talking about the fact that there are renewable resources and there are non-renewable resources. Example, time, not renewable. I use it, it's gone. I can't get myself more time, except that I can be more efficient. What's a resource that is renewable? Money. Money is renewable. So where I can, when I can, I will use money to save time. Instead of only having the idea that I just give away my time so I can get money. Okay, and we're going to talk about this today because part of living at the highest level is understanding how some of these things work in our benefit. Why? Because today we're covering acceleration. Who out there right now, Yvonne, I can see you commenting there. Who out there right now watching this video live, watching the recording, isn't interested in going further, faster, with less work? I didn't say no work. Right? But with less work. Further, faster, with less work. That is acceleration. Today, I'm going to give you 9 points. 9 points, okay, that will accelerate your life. I could keep going. I can see Katie Huber's on here, the COO of our company. Katie knows I will sit around and I will nerd out over how can I be more effective, more efficient? And I tell you, the most exciting part of that for me is helping you understand how it can work for you. And this goes for our traders out there, our investors out there, our business owners, our at-home CEOs, which is our moms and our dads. Okay, this goes for everybody. So whatever matters to you. Now, remember I said, people come to us and they want breakthrough in their finances, but what do they really want? They want breakthrough in something else. Money is the energy that they're going to translate into the thing that they want, right? You want more time at home. You're in the process of doing something that gets you the thing you really want. That's why people come to Tradeway, and that's why we're so passionate about helping you. It ain't about money, right? Now, we're not being false humility here or kind of dancing around it. No. We want to help bring financial breakthrough to families and homes. But the reason for that breakthrough is connected to something that really matters to us. What I want to do today is give you some things you can input into your life, put in place that are going to bring you acceleration. Now, at this point of the broadcast, I always say, I can see you guys coming in. Leave me a comment. I point over here, I point over here, point over here. Depends on where it is on your screen, but you can go ahead. You can leave me a comment there. Say hello, say where you're from, say who you are. Tell me how outrageous you think this message is, how much you disagree with me, how much you agree with me, whether you do what I'm saying, whether you don't. Ask me questions. I love to hear from you guys. I see Yvonne, Jeffrey, Katie, Benjamin. There's Katie again. Blair, a nerd? Nah, I'd almost put that up on the screen, but just having some fun over there. Familiar faces, familiar names. Benjamin says faster. Hey, right? And it can sound gimmicky, like, oh, guy comes on and says faster. Oh, this stuff works, right? David, I see you there. This is going to help you, okay? I believe that. I believe that. This is tried and tested for me, okay? So let me go ahead and jump right in. I said I'm going to bring you 9. Okay, I've got about 10 here, but it's really the core that I'm going to show you. So we got to move pretty quickly. Now, I'm not necessarily going to go into, as we could do an entire session on each one of these. And if as we go along, that's something that you're interested in seeing, hey, let me know, right? I say this every time I'm on here too. My goal is not to come on here and simply talk at the camera, okay? I want to give you information you can use. Ultimately, we're going to tie this in at the end. How can you do this in your finances? Because that's really what Tradeway focuses on. But the beauty of what we get to do on Wednesdays is show you more of who we are, right? And why we do what we do, and give you something that you can apply to any area. That's the benefit that we want to give you today. But you can always send us a comment, right? Let us know, hey, I want to see more of this. I want to see more of this point or that point, okay? That said, let's go ahead and jump right in. Okay, number one, be about, note takers, okay? Note takers out there. This is number one, key to acceleration. Okay, we did the keys to breakthrough in a previous session, so this is a bit different, but specifically looking at acceleration. How do we speed things up, right? And let me say this really quick. There's always a relationship between looking at how can I speed something up and what's slowing me down, right? Because if we can remove more of what's slowing me down and accelerate my movement, it's both. They're not actually the same thing, but they're very closely tied, okay? This one speeds you up and gets rid of what's slowing you down. This is a key. This is acceleration. Number one, be about the Father's business. Be in relationship with the Father. He made you. He knows you. He has a plan for you. He has a place for you. He has the provision for you. He has the energy for you. Right? I was just reading in Corinthians the other day. Paul says, I worked harder than them all, but it was not I, but it was the grace of God that was with me. It was his energy. There's other translations, his energy, which works so powerfully within me because he was walking in the Spirit, doing what God was doing, being about the Father's business, being about his purpose for my life, his plan. Not just generally, this general idea of Christendom, okay? I mean, in relationship with God, him showing you leadership for your life, for your home, for your career, for whatever it is, the area that we're talking about for you today, be about the Father's business. That's number one for acceleration. And I can tell you, I've had comments from people, and of course, this isn't unique only to my life. That's not the case at all. Because I happen to believe that grace, favor, all these things are available to the child of God. And you may see somebody who seems to walk in more grace and favor than you. That's meant to inspire us. That's meant to inspire us. And this session isn't about those two things. We could talk about those a lot. Those are definitely things that accelerate our lives. But they're meant to inspire us to know what's available. And a lot of times believers will look at that and almost feel like, oh, maybe that's just that person. No. This is for all of us. And it's about how much we're about the Father's business, right? How much integrity we have in that. We don't earn it, but we grow in maturity so that we can be trusted with it. That brings acceleration into your life. So I would say ask the Holy Spirit. Pray. Ask the Lord. Lots of questions and ask for lots of wisdom about what is your business in this season of my life? What is your business in and through my life? What is your business in this area that I'm looking at? Okay? Because the Lord has acceleration, and there's this great saying. It simply says grace is greater than hustle. Grace is greater than hustle. We got to work, but that's the scripture I just said, right? I worked harder than them all, Paul said. But it was because of this alignment I had, this empowerment I had, because I was so zealously doing the Father's business. So that's number one. Be about the Father's business. Bring some acceleration into your life. I'm ready to move on to two, but I got to say this. I can tell you that I've been in these seasons, and I've said this to many people. Man, I see them working so hard. They are grinding. But you know what? They've taken a page from the world around us. Now, I'm not even making a moral judgment, right? But they've taken the page from the world around us, and they are trying to make so many things happen in their own strength, and it's exhausting, and it takes longer. And I'm convinced that if we would connect with God in heaven, closer, clearer, more consistent, he will let us know what we need to go after and grind after, and what we need to sit back and trust him. And he'll let us know how much work needs to be done on our knees and how much work needs to be done out there. And I'll move on to number 2 with this. The horse is prepared for the day of battle, but the victory belongs to the Lord. So certainly the Lord's going to lead us to prepare, to press in, to do the work. If you're on here today and you're interested in trading, right? You're interested in investing, you want financial breakthrough, you might be one of our students, right? We're going to train you. We're going to take you through one of our amazing programs. There's going to be work in there, but ultimately, we're always going to bring that back to the Lord. So I'm going to move on from this one. Be about the Father's business. Number 1, I think that's pretty clear. Number 2, get really clear. Second one, acceleration. Be really clear on what you really want. You know, when you make a movie, what's the most important part of that process? It's what we call the pre-production. It's not the shooting, the acting, the filming, the stunts, the explosions. It's not the presentation, the premiere, the editing, the sound. Those are actually much, much shorter. The pre-production is the most important part. Why? Because it gives us clarity on exactly what we need to do, exactly what we don't need to do, and we can spend a ton of energy and time when we are not 100% clear or even 99% clear, right, on what it is that we really want. I take some time, try to do it every day, don't always do it every day, but I try to take some time regularly and connect with God and ask myself, what do I really want today? What really matters? Not gratification. The world is going to throw out all these different things, gratification. That's not really what I want, but it's things that are shiny in front of my eyes that try to steal my attention. But not gratification, satisfaction. What's really going to bring satisfaction? What do I really want? If I take the time, do some pre-production, and look at, this is what I really want. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to have a strong yes. It's conscious. I've made a decision. It's clear. I can see it. I have a strong yes. You know what a strong yes is? A strong yes is a strong no. A strong no to everything else, because I already know what I want. I already know what I want. Right? I'm having this thought. You know, I didn't think of this premeditated beforehand, but you know, good fathers, you know what they're going to do? They're going to teach their daughters by example. This is what a good man is like. This is how he should treat you. This is how he should talk to you. This is how he should pursue you. Get used to what this is going to look like. She has a clear picture of what is good and what is right and what is beneficial. And I know that's a little bit more of an intense example, but it's very clear. And when the other, anything different than that comes along, no. I already know. And it's the same way. Number 2, acceleration. Get really clear. Go to the Father. Same picture. In fact, maybe there's some people out there, some sons and daughters, and that is exactly what you needed to hear. That was a word for you specifically. You needed to hear that piece. That the Father wants to show you, this is what I'm about. This is what your life is about. And as you get clarity on him, who is the ultimate Father, the good Father, the things that are noisy or deceptive or distracting, wasteful, it's just going to drop off. And that's going to accelerate your life because those things slow us down. That's number 2. Number 3, moving on. I'm going to jump back here, make sure we don't have any comments. Yeah, Jeffrey, praying is key to being in God's will. Of course, yes, absolutely. I mean, prayer is connection and clarity and power. So we've got to have that. You've got to have that. Number 3, 80-20 principle. If you've been on the sessions previously, you have seen this. I've talked about this, and I wanted to hit this again. See, all of these are connected, right? All of these are connected. 80-20, for those of you who were on the session, you know. For those of you who were not, I'm going to explain it here. 80-20 principle. This is a very simple principle, and it is connected to being clear, but it takes it a step further. The 80-20 principle basically says this, and I want to credit John Maxwell for this. I say that with a little hesitancy because I'm not sure if it was John Maxwell who initially presented this, but it's where I learned it. And so thanks to John Maxwell for that. Incredible writer on this very thing. So I recommend that to anybody who's interested in this and knowing more about it. 80-20 principle. What's the 80-20 principle? It basically states this, that there are activities that we engage in as we seek to get breakthrough or move forward, right? Because if we're talking about acceleration, we're going somewhere, okay? So we're assuming that we're going somewhere, okay? The first 2 lay the foundation of, well, where are we going? And do I even really want to be going there? Okay, should I even really be going there? 80-20 says that for most of us, we will spend 80% of our energy on activities that really only give us 20% of the output that we want. I'm going to say that again. That many of the activities that we spend ourselves on take 80% of the energy, generally speaking, 80%, a large majority of the energy that we have to give. That's what it takes. But we get 20% of the fruit we want out of those activities. And the 80-20 principle teaches us how to go, okay, what are the activities in my life, usually on the other side of fear, discomfort, right? Risk. What are the activities in my life that I can go, if I put in 20% of my energy, even just a small, less than majority, 20% of my energy into that, I'll actually end up getting 80% out of it. 80% out of it. Okay? I recently had a deeper realization with this when I realized as a person, I can be very driven, right? I want to work well. I want to use my time very well. I take these things I'm sharing with you today seriously. The Keys of Breakthrough we did. I put these things into my life. So I am trying to live very intentionally, and I can be intense with that. And so I'm living, and I realize one of the ways I'm judging, okay, if I'm successful in living life well during the day is if I go to bed tired. And I may have a large list, and I'm checking things off that list, and I'm knocking it out, and I'm feeling like, yeah, I'm really getting it done. But when I look back and go, what was actually the fruit of that day, of what I really wanted? See, I ended up tired, and I feel like I was productive, and I did do some things. But then there's these few things over here that I'm avoiding, okay? Maybe it's my trading. Let's just use that as an example. I can put little energy into trading. Just takes a small part of my day. But it might yield what would have taken me a week or 2 or more weeks of work to yield that same breakthrough, right? I can put in less and get out more, okay? And that's the areas I'm looking for. Where am I expending more energy? There is, and I'm going to touch on this in another point here, there are areas for many of us, they're not on the outside, they're on the inside. There's some things I need to deal with in here, right? And I'm not here to tell people what they need to do, but I'm telling you from my own life. There's some things in here that need to be looked at. And I'm out there doing all kinds of stuff. And if I would work, let's take this example. This is for somebody today. I believe this. This is for somebody today. You have terribly low self-esteem. You say, well, geez, I didn't come on here thinking we were going to talk about this. Hey, this is important. We're talking about your life. We're talking about the people around you that matter, and they're going to receive from you, whether good or not, right? You say, well, I have really low self-esteem, and I'm trying to do all these things. How about we slow down, Stop spending 80% of our energy on all this other stuff and take a little bit of our time and energy and start chipping away at that thing that's foundational. That's the 80-20. I've done this with some people in my life over the last 6 weeks and has literally changed my life, both on an internal and external, because I am focusing on the things that truly give me the results. I'm putting in small amounts of investment in certain areas, and I'm getting 80% returns out of those different areas of my life. I'm getting major returns. Okay, so 80-20 is a key to acceleration. Once again, checking comments, making sure we're all right. Somebody said, Jeffrey said he lost the feed. Just let me know if you can't see me here. I'll keep checking back in, but looks like I'm running here. I'm gonna have to speed up here a little bit. I like this stuff. I like this stuff. Number four. This one's not our huge revelation, but we need to be reminded more often than we need to be instructed. That's certainly true for me. Number 4 is learn. I think it was the old NBC commercials, never stop learning. Wasn't that? No, it was the more you know. Somebody out there remembers what I'm talking about. Katie knows what I'm talking about. The more you know. Number 4, learn. On one end of the spectrum, we've got too much information. I mean, let's not even talk about the media right now. Too much information. At the same time, just like we're doing right here, thankful to have you guys on here being able to do this exchange. You have access to information like never before. You can be on a session like this, just like that. Boom. Reading, podcasting. Man, podcasting is amazing. I can learn so much. Did you know Tradeway has a podcast? Okay, we just launched a new podcast. You can go on. You can listen to it as many times as you want. You can listen to it slow. You can do what I like to do. You can listen to it fast. You can double time. For my personality, as long as the person doesn't speak too fast, that's a dream. I throw in these headphones. I'm walking somewhere. I'm driving somewhere. I'm in traffic. I'm redeeming the time, whatever it is. Boom, podcast. I'm learning. Accelerate. Give yourself the power. When you know more, you can do more. Okay, so learn. Take those times intentionally. I mentioned on the session last week, I can be a nerd for things like this, as I mentioned already. If I'm in the shower 20 minutes a day, round trip, the whole thing, 20 minutes a day, you say, geez, Blair talking about, that's kind of weird. No, listen, 20 minutes over the course of a year, once a day, that's 5.5 days of my life. 5.5 days. What if I was learning during that time? That's huge, huge, huge. And I will redeem those times. And that's what I read from the scriptures last week, that we don't waste, but we redeem the times, the scripture says. So learn, right? Online courses. We'll talk about that. We did last week. We did on Monday. Tradeway has online courses. This is leverage to accelerate you. Okay? Mentorship. So that's all part of learning, and we're going to talk about that more in a sec. That's number 4. Number 5, let's go back to the keys, specifically the keys to breakthrough that I talked about. We did our sessions. If you haven't seen the keys to breakthrough, I think you're missing out on a really good series, something you can practically use in your life, going deeper into each of some of these points here, but into a whole series of keys to breakthrough you can apply to your life. But we're going to go back to one of them right now. Here it is. Address your constraints. What does that mean? Think of a runner. This is what I talked about when I taught this session. This will be a good reminder if you saw it, and this will be new information I think is really beneficial for those who did not hear that session. By the way, you can always go back and watch those sessions if you missed it. But here it is. This is worth $1 million to somebody out there, okay? Because you've been struggling, right? You've been working really hard. You are a motivated person. You are a prayerful person. You have the desire. You have the commitment. And you find you're still hitting the wall. Is that you today? Is there somebody out there today? That's you. Well, if that's you, this is for you. This is going to be a breakthrough for you. That's not hype. This is huge. And I've learned it the hard way, unfortunately. But I've learned it nonetheless. Okay? Address constraints. Think of this. You're a runner. Let's say you've been training for a long time. You're not inexperienced. You're a runner. You've got a good coach. Okay? You've got a good coach. You eat well. You train well. You sleep well. You've conditioned well. You know, breathing, rhythm, all the things that go into a runner, right? But you're actually running in 3 feet of water. You're running in 3 feet of water. Now, it's pretty obvious at that point. Picture that. Okay? That's pretty hard. I feel like somebody in the world has probably had a nightmare like that. It's like those running, you're trying to run away and you can't get anywhere. That's the same thing. What am I saying? A constraint in your life. I mentioned earlier. What if it's really low self-esteem? It could be emotional like that. Could be trauma, could be wounding. We're just real talk today, right? Could be. It could be physical. You could have very low energy. We're going to talk about that in a sec. There could be a number of constraints. And if this is clicking for you, you can go back and watch the whole session on that. But the idea here is that it's not just developing a new strength or a stronger strength. It's going, what is taking away my energy? What is creating resistance in my life? And am I identifying and removing those things so as to say, the runner who's running underwater, what if we took 3 feet of water and made it 3 inches? And what if 3 inches became 1.5 inches? We're lowering constraints. I'll tell you, and I talked about this in the session. Just to give you context, I talked about this in the session where I taught on this. For me, one of my constraints, I did a session with one of the top professional consulting firms in the world. Fortune 500, NFL, you name it, entertainers, CEOs. I did a session with them where they identified my top 3 constraints. Example for you. One of them, a high resistance to change. I can be very strategic. I have all these gifts, and so do you. So do you. But when it comes to change, I can be very slow to accept it. That, for me, for Blair Nightingale, is running in water, right? I need to pivot, but I don't, because I don't like change in this way or in that way. So I'm letting you into my process a little bit today. I could try and be stronger, better, faster. And that's not necessarily bad, but until I address this area, it's going to be slow. And as soon as I started to 80-20, put a little bit of time into that one area, woo, major momentum. It's like a dam that's waiting to break some of these things for some of us. So you want to talk about acceleration? Remember, this is number 5. You want to talk about acceleration? Remove the constraints. Bring down the dam, because there's probably a lot of pressure in there in some of these areas for some of you out there, and you're thinking, man, I'm discouraged because I'm trying so hard in this area, but over here is this thing that if I could start to address that, bingo. And I mentioned in that session, because I want to give some of you who are interested in this, there is a book out there. This isn't officially endorsed by Tradeway by any means, but it is something that I think would be useful to you. If you're interested in this, it's The Flip Side by Flip Flippin'. For those of you who are looking for a little bit of help, how do I know my constraints? So that's something you can look at there. There's lots of resources. That is one of them to remove, if you will, the water from the equation. Number 6. Number 6. How are we doing out there, guys? Yes. Excellent. Excellent. Number 6. Fight. And I put this word intentionally. Do what you got to do. All right. Obviously, we act with character, but we fight. We do what we got to do to hang around the people, to get FaceTime with the people that are at the place that we want to be. Could be like we're doing right here. Some of you had to move the schedule today. Some of you didn't book anything right now because you knew this session was going to happen, and you've seen what we do in the other sessions. Okay? Whatever it is, you need to fight. I need to fight to be around the people who are doing the thing I want to do. I can't think of anything that could be more important in acceleration than having exposure to the person who's manifesting the thing you want to manifest. Breakthrough, business, character, family, you name it. We're traders. People come, they say, Blair, you're a trader. I want to be a trader. I don't know how. You know how. I need to connect with you. Right? They get into one of our programs, or they're in one of our programs. They reach out to me. I got emails today. Blair, I need you to look over my investments. I need you to look over my trading. I need you to give me feedback on this. Okay? Because there's no faster way than to have exposure. So get into the place where you are around those who are doing what you want to do. That is a accelerator. It makes things go faster. It's worth saying partway through here. Obviously, we know what acceleration means, but it's helpful to just spell it out. We're talking about making things go faster. The days are short. Life is short. I don't want to get into impatience, but every place I can make things go faster, I will. Somebody said, when God leads us into the desert, he'll do that, by the way. We can't make it any shorter, but we can make it longer. I'm looking for ways to keep it as short as humanly possible. Whatever journey I have to do, that's what these are about, making it go faster, okay? So, number 6, fight to hang around the people who are where you want to be. Number 7, touched on this a little bit. Recognizing the power of focus, but specifically, busy is not fruitful. Culture wants to keep you busy. God wants to keep you fruitful. Culture wants to keep you busy. God wants to keep you fruitful. Okay, and that goes back to being about his business and what we've stated already. But focus on, what is the fruit that I want? What is the fruit that I want? Okay, not just the amount of energy I'm spending on something, but really, what is the fruit that I want? And then bring that to the Lord. Okay, what is the fruit that I want? So, simple principle, some ways that I can focus more on what's the goal than how much energy I'm using. I mentioned earlier, I'm not productive because I'm tired. That's not a good measurement. That just tells me a lot of energy went out. It doesn't tell me I'm producing what I want the best possible way. People who start stock trading, they're shocked. They're shocked because it's possible that the potential of trading, in fact, this is one of the mental barriers we have to help traders get through, is they may make potentially the amount of money in a very small amount of time that used to take them a lot of time. And I came from a blue collar town. And so there's this idea that, you get because you grind and you work and you put in long hours, and that's what a meaningful life looks like. Well, what if meaningful life is learning skill sets that leverage money so that I save time and actually spend time on the things that matter most, like being with my family and taking care of problems in the world that matter to me? That's how God thinks. So I'm focused on the fruit, not just the outgoing energy. What's the fruit that I really want? Busy isn't fruitful. The world's focused on busyness. God is focused on fruit. And he has a royal perspective because he's a king. So I need to come up to his level of thinking, and that's the biggest way. Number 7, coming up to his thinking. Number 8, okay, we're in the home stretch here. Number 8, I want to touch on this. I haven't talked about this at all in any of the sessions, really. And it's worth saying. This body is a tent, but it's the temple. This is the temple of the Holy Ghost. This is the thing that gets me around to do whatever it is that I'm on this earth to do. Because you know what? He could just snap us all up right now. Kingdom come. But we're here for a time such as this, that we might walk in those works that he's prepared for us in advance, that we would walk in them. I have a purpose. I'm going to do damage. I've told you guys this already. Whatever amount of time I have on this earth, I'm going to do as much damage as I possibly can. And I'm getting more sober and more intense about that very thing. But you know what? It ain't going to work very well if I don't take care of this. And I notice that if energy in me is low, then my ability to focus, produce, commit, all the things we just talked about is also low. So number 8 is the best you can, right? The best you can, the best I can. Eat healthy, sleep well, exercise, supplement where you need it. This is just generally speaking health, okay? Everybody has different health needs. I understand. Across the board here today. But if we're not focusing on this area at all, we're not optimizing. This is not going to lend to acceleration. If you have, why do people drink coffee? Right? It's a stimulant. It stimulates their life and off they go. Now, we may have varying opinions about that on this webinar, but the point is when you have more energy, you have more output. You have more clarity. You have more acceleration. That's why we do it. It's an accelerator. It's a physical way of doing that. So that's just a picture of what if we can keep that energy level higher by doing things that help this temple operate the way it was supposed to operate. And it's a piece at a time. I mentioned the best we can. The best we can. We start to do this. This is a deeper conversation. So I'm not going there. I'm keeping it simple for us and saying, hey, the best we can. Whatever's coming out of this thing has a lot to do with what's going in. You know, we actually have a doctor who works at Tradeway. He helps teach a lot of our courses. He is a doctor at UT Southwestern in Dallas, Texas. And him and I have traveled together for Tradeway, and we've had many conversations about this very thing, taking care of the temple. And I'm just going to say this. He would even highlight to me time and time again how little he sees people connect the outcome of their life with what they're putting in their body. What are we putting in there? Good in, good out, a mentor of mine used to always tell me. Good in, good out. That's spiritually, that's emotionally, that's mentally, that's physically. And I need high levels of energy to show up for the people I love around me the most. I kid you not. I got out of bed today and I thought, how am I going to show up for these people? How am I going to show up? And when my health is, I can't do that. So I'm just praying for me, for you guys, that the Lord would just give us an upgrade in understanding how to do that. See, he made us. He's the great physician. He knows what you need. He knows what I need. I wouldn't be giving a fair and clear and effective picture of acceleration if I didn't. Because, hey, listen, what if you had twice the energy you have right now? What if you slept twice as well as you do right now? What if your brain was twice as sharp and clear as it is right now? I would say that could accelerate your life. So we don't have the power to change everything right now, probably, right? We don't have the capacity. We got to take something and focus on it. What stood out to you today? What stood out to you today? What hit you the most? I hope, number one, we'll do number one. Be about the Father's business. Let him lead. He can do more than I can do. He can do infinitely more with a man or a woman who is laid down at his feet than otherwise. Grace is greater than hustle. Culture wants to keep us busy. God wants to keep us fruitful. So we don't necessarily have the power to do everything right now, but we can present ourselves to God and do something right now. We can do something. And I understand that there may be some people out there today, and you don't have a relationship with God. And I want to just say, you're invited, you're welcome to that relationship, but these keys, you can apply these in your life, right? These are principles that God set in motion. These are going to work. You can apply these in your life. And you'll hear coaches talk about these things. So please apply those in your life. You may not be able to change everything, but you can change something. The point is, when we are fixated, focused, and clear on what actually works, what actually matters, plugged into God, and resolute, we can begin to move faster, further, with less work. Okay, so that said, Lester, I see you from California. Bob, I see you. That's some new names. I haven't seen you guys on here before. Denise, I see you on here. I see some of the comments. I'm glad. This is connecting. This is helping. This is landing. This is giving you something to work with. If you are blessed by this, go ahead, share it with somebody. Send it to somebody else you think might need to hear this very thing as well. I am simply trying to help as many people as we can connect to this. And this is beautiful. If we just grab hold of a few of these things, then we can find that the things that actually matter to us manifest more. And what I want to see is people of the kingdom be able to get further faster with less work, as I've mentioned multiple times. Now, that said, I talked about this on Monday, Tradeway, this is what we care about. Father's business. That's what we're trying to stay is our true north, helping people out there, families, homes, men, women, young, old, doesn't matter. Get acceleration and breakthrough in your finances to give you a skill set to know how to trade. I mentioned on Monday, trading is growing in this country. Trading, people who've never traded before, they have no idea what it is or really how to do it, but they're interested in the opportunity. It's growing in record numbers. And what we do at Tradeways, we help people do that. Here's another key to acceleration as we close out. I mentioned a little bit, be around people who are at where you want to be. Mentorship. Mentorship is a huge part of acceleration. It's literally fathering fathers and mothers. I mean, really, when you think about it, what do? They take an experience of a lifetime and they pour it into those kids. So why? So those kids can grow up, not make the same mistakes they made, get further faster with less work, right? That my ceiling would be their floor is always the goal. Healthy. Mentors, not much different when the heart is right. And that's what we want to do at Tradeway. For those of you out here today who you want to see more financial breakthrough in your life, you want to have more control, you want to have more vision, you want to feel more powerful and empowered in that area of your life, we offer mentorship programs. It's called our Trader Pro program. You get access to all the teaching you need online to be able to do it. You get access to mentorship coaches like myself and other great Tradeway coaches. You get access to that online. This is something that you'll just do on a low-risk monthly subscription. When I jump off this webinar, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to post a link there on our Facebook page right below this video. It's going to give you all the details of that. It is the lowest price it's ever been for what this is, and I wouldn't be doing you a service if I said, hey, this is who we are. We're getting off the webinar. I'm going to give you something practical financially that you can look at and move forward with. And if you have any questions, certainly you can ask me. I see the comment there. I'm really interested in learning more about options. So if you are really interested in learning more about options, this is going to teach you, okay? This program used to be upwards $10, $20, $30,000 for everything that was put together, okay? Everything has changed because everything is online, okay? Everything is online now, and it's completely changed how these things work in terms of what we're able to do with all the programs and the videos and all this kind of stuff. So now you're looking at paying $327 a month. There's a one-time sign-up fee for it. $327 a month. You can cancel anytime you want. And you will, as we see in the question here, learning how to not only trade stocks, but trade options, which is even more leverage, further, faster, potentially with less work, okay? So you get our entire options program in there as well. So I will post that for you guys. What did I see? Mario, that's what I wanted to say. Mario, I haven't seen you on here, I don't think, recently, so I want to make sure I say hi to everybody. With that said, we're closing out. I will post that link for you. So come on and join us. Get some more exposure. See what happens when you give yourself learning, mentorship. It's all acceleration. Go out, take a couple of these, and apply them. And let me know. Let me know. Yvonne, I see your comment there. I love the online learning, especially with the current situation with COVID. I said there's record numbers of people coming in. It's no secret why. People are looking for ways to actually take control of this area, be less dependent on others, and it's becoming more popular, right? Hey, the stock market, there's an opportunity there. What's the problem? I don't know how to take advantage. It's like oil in the ground and I can't drill. I don't know how. I don't know what it is. We're going to teach you. How do I get to that oil under the ground? That's what we're going to teach you to do. That's our program. So watch for that link. It'll literally just be a few seconds. If you have any questions, let me know, as always, and I will be back next Monday. bringing you another Market Monday. Go ahead, get some acceleration, man. Get some acceleration this week. I'm going to keep these on my mind too because they make me feel powerful. Can't do everything at once, but I can do something. Okay? That said, thank you guys. Have yourselves a good day. Appreciate you being on here as always, and we will see you next time.